While PC prices are going up because of the DRAM crisis, something weird is happening. The M5 MacBook Pro is actually getting discounts on Amazon, up to $200 off configurations with 24 GB of RAM and 1 TB storage. Let me explain what's going on. The DRAM crisis is real. Manufacturers are raising prices across the board. Lenovo, the world's largest notebook maker, is literally telling customers to buy hardware upgrades now, before prices get worse. People are panicking about buying laptops and components. This is not normal market behavior. So when I saw MacBook Pros with discounts on high RAM configurations, it caught my attention. That's the opposite of what's happening everywhere else right now. The 14-inch M5 MacBook Pro in space black with 16 GB of unified RAM and 1 TB SSD is $1,599. That's $200 off. Here's what makes this interesting. $1,599 is the launch price of the base M5 MacBook Pro, which only has 512 GB of storage. You're getting double the storage for the same price as the base model. There's also a top configuration with 24 GB of unified RAM and 1 TB SSD for $1,825 in silver. That's $174 off the regular price. Now you might be wondering why Apple can offer discounts when everyone else is raising prices. It comes down to supply chain positioning. Apple normally charges significant premiums for RAM and storage upgrades. We've criticized them for this repeatedly. But during a RAM shortage where everyone else is raising prices, these discounts look different. The M5 MacBook Pro shares the same physical design as the M4 model. The big improvements are internal. The SSD is significantly faster than the M4 MacBook Pro. The 10-core CPU and 10-core GPU deliver strong performance. The M5 almost matches the M1 Ultra in multi-core performance while running half the number of cores. You're also getting that 14-inch mini LED display with 120Hz refresh rate, the aluminum unibody chassis, the large trackpad, and solid battery life that lasts throughout a workday. If you need a laptop now and are considering a Windows machine, this is worth looking at. Comparable Windows laptops with 16 or 24 GB of RAM are getting more expensive every week. The M5 MacBook Pro pricing is holding steady or dropping. If you're already in the Apple ecosystem, this is straightforward. You're getting current generation hardware at a discount during a time when everything else is getting more expensive. If you've been waiting to upgrade from an older MacBook, the combination of better performance and these discounts might make sense timing-wise. These are still premium-priced laptops. $1,599 and $1,825 aren't budget options, but in the context of the current market, they're relatively better value than they were a few months ago. The 16 GB configuration will handle most professional workloads, development, design, video editing, photo work. The 24 GB version gives you more headroom for heavier multitasking or running virtual machines. What's happening here is interesting from a market perspective. Apple's supply chain and vertical integration mean they're not as exposed to the DRAM shortage as other manufacturers. They locked in memory contracts earlier and have buying power that smaller companies don't. This doesn't mean Apple is immune to component shortages, but they're better positioned to weather this particular storm than most PC makers. The result is that during a time when buying a new laptop with decent RAM is getting more expensive, the M5 MacBook Pro is actually getting cheaper. That's unusual and worth noting. If you want to check these deals out, I've linked them in the pinned comment. The $1,599 16 GB model and the $1,825 24 GB model. Are you considering a MacBook or waiting to see if PC prices stabilize? Let me know in the comments. And if this was helpful, like and subscribe for more tech deals and buying advice. Thanks for watching.